Hi guys, this is Suzanne HB, or Crazy Just Might Work on Instagram. Today's tutorial is on the hollow log design. It's a very versatile design. You can use it, as you see here, as a hook grip, or you can have it as a pencil grip or pencil topper, or you can actually wear it as a bracelet. This is it as a bracelet, and it's interesting because as a bracelet it's actually hollow. I don't know if you can see, you can kind of see through it. Right through to the other side, but it holds this really nice rounded shape here, so when you squeeze it, it just bounces right back. It's really quite solid, but it's light. It doesn't have many bands. Anyway, I'll show you how to do this, and what I'm going to do to make today is, I'm not going to do a full length of bracelet. I'm going to make a pencil grip for my dad, so he's picked up the colours that he would like, and I'll do that today. This design can be made on the rainbow loom. You just need 4 pegs to work on, but I find it's a little bit narrow through here when you're making it. You can split your pin bars apart. Excuse me here for a moment. So you can do this by splitting your pin bars apart and actually having them sitting opposite each other, like that, and using them split apart, but my preference is to use the monster tail, so it is possible to do it this way. You just set it up exactly the same way as you would on the monster tail using 4 pegs, but I'm most familiar with the monster tail, so that's what I'm going to use today for the tutorial, so I can demonstrate it and be kind of straight what I'm doing. Alright, so my dad has chosen teal bands and neon orange and opaque white, just as something very contrasty. Alright, now this pencil grip, hook grip in this case, takes about 90 bands for that length, and for a bracelet you probably need about double that, so you need about 180 to 200 bands for a bracelet length of this. Alright, so I'm going to be using the teal bands and the neon orange bands to be the coloured sections that are on the outside, and my white will be the inner layer that gives it the form, makes it springy. Alright, so let's get started. First 2 bands you lay. Just go across like this, so if you've got your rainbow loom, just across the 4 pegs, whichever way is most comfortable. And then get your internal band colour, in my case the white, double it, so cap it and lay it over one or either side. Doesn't matter which side you lay it, you just keep track. Now we just need to take these ones back to the peg that they came from, loop it back, so you can do that any way that is comfortable for you. I find it a bit easier on the monster tail because you can access it for both sides. On the other hand, it's quite easy just to go in here and hook them over as well, which I tend to end up doing. But you can turn the monster tail around and get the looping on all the sides. It's easier. Next layer, we're going for our next colour for the outside, which in my case is neon orange, and you do the same horizontal laying, and then you go to the opposite side to lay your double capped band, and this is all you're going to do all the way up. So in this case you might find it easier to go in just inside the band and grab just the orange, not the green as well, just the orange, and loop it back on itself, and do the same thing on the other side. If I push my greens down, it would have been helpful. On the other side, so it just loops back to itself the same way. Okay, so push those down. On the first loop over, this band here, the whole thing will loop over because it's not really attached to anything in the middle yet. So for the first time you get the bottom, you're going to basically loop over all the colours on the bottom. So take it from the bottom and the bottom, so that band comes all the way over, but it won't do that on the next layers. And grab the bottom colour 2 bands, and 2 bands on this side. Okay, that's pretty much it. There's 2 layers that alternate in this, and that's it. They're the 2 layers. The only tricky parts about this is remembering which colour you're up to and which side you need to lay the band, the linking internal band on. The way I remember it is, the band that you want to, lay next is the band that you've just looped over, that's on the side that appears straight, flat. Your internal band is flat. So in this case, green. Take 1, 2, lay it across, and you want to lay your doubled band on the side that doesn't have a band running across here. So it's got like these little ears poking out from where you've looped out the one just underneath. So you need to make that straight. This side's already straight, so it doesn't need it on that side, it's got to be on the other side. Hope that makes some sense to you. I've got to try and work out ways of remembering when I'm alternating things, because otherwise I get a bit confused. Now, I'm a bit of a messy loomer, so I tend not to straighten all my things, but I'm sure that straightening them would make it a neater finish at the end. So you can go in to that cut band, loop it back, go in and loop it back. Sorry if I'm getting in the way this way. Okay, so again you'll have 2 layers of colour. Grab the bottom layer, that'll be 2 bands on one side, and it'll be your double band, which will be the tighter one on those. Sorry, I had a slip there. So that's your double band coming over there. Push down, next layer, same rule. It'll be the colour that you've just looped over there, and it'll be the double band will be laid on this side, which has got these little ear shapes sticking out, and see, this side is flat, so we don't need a double band on that side, it's the one we've just done. So I'll grab my neon orange and put the bands laying this way and the bands, so the double band will be laying crossways. I apologise if I can hear noises in the background. I've kind of bribed my son with TV watching after this so that I can get a tutorial done during the day, but he's finding it hard to be quiet, so please forgive that. Alright, so inside the cap band, doubled band, back over, and inside the band coming back around the other way. Next step is to take the colour on the bottom, bring it over, colour on the bottom on the other side, bring it over. You can turn your monster tail round if you prefer to do that, so that you can attack it from all angles. That's one of the reasons I do find the monster tail a little bit easier for that, and the extra width there, which allows this sort of rounded shaped band to go through without having to squash it down. You can sort of see that rounded shape starting to form there, the circle on the end. Okay, I'll do it a few more times. I'm sure you get the hang of this really quickly because it is such a straightforward design. Oops. It's not really awkward, it's just I'm trying to stay out of the way of the camera. Okay, so you do that looping layer and loop up the bottom ones. As it grows down on the monster tail, you don't really have to do anything on the rainbow loom. You'll have to kind of pull it through as it starts to need a little bit of more extra room to grow. just realised this wobbles around because I think my table moved, so I apologise that I'm just working on a plastic trestle table. I thought it was my music stand that I'm using for my camera that was wobbling, but I think it's the table itself that moves, so sorry about that. I'll try not to jiggle the table too much. Sort of start to see how it's got this shape through here, and basically when you're using as a hook grip, you just stick your hook through this side and it'll end up coming out the opposite end through the middle there, and this piece here is just a nice tightness. Sorry, I can't see it. This piece here is just the right tightness to actually hold firmly on the hook, this part here. So that's the way it works as a hook grip. Just put it straight through the middle there as you finish. Alright, do a couple more times. Oops, doesn't really matter how you get the cap bands on here. So long as they get on and they're doubled. And one last time, remembering that the colour that you'll be laying is the colour that you've just looped over, and you'll be laying your doubled band on the side that's got the ears poking out. Okay, I'm thinking you should well and truly have the hang of that laying and looping, since it's so straightforward. You can just start to see that nice shape is forming there, little hollows, and on that side as well, and it's holding its shape really nicely. So I'll finish this off to the length of the pencil grip that my dad wants, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I finished up the length that I need for a pencil grip. So here it is. This is what it looks like. You see how you can kind of see through it? I think that's a really cool effect. But it stays up and you can squash it and it comes back. So that's kind of really nifty. Anyway, I'll show you how we put it on as a pencil grip. And I've got a pencil hanging around here that I just found. Have I lost it now? No, there it is. Okay, so all we need to do to finish this off as a pencil grip is to put the pencil down through that hollow in the centre there. Use a reasonable amount of force. I tend to twist as you push it through. Oops, try not to get caught up as I just did. Of course, this always works better when you're off camera. Sorry about all the blurriness, I'll just try and get that into the right position as it goes through. Just need to use kind of a firm pressure as it goes through. Now I'm putting the blunt end of the pencil through rather than the sharp end, and I'll show you why in a sec. I haven't done many pencil grips and things like that, so there may be other ways out there that are much easier to finish off a pencil grip, in which case feel free to use the most effective method. Okay, so I've got that all the way through. You can have it twisted, which is kind of cute too, but I like it straight. So wiggle that up to the top of the pencil, and then with these, all we're going to do to finish it off, as I did on the hook grip at this end, is just take each band. It's going to be a little bit hard to show you. Take each band and hook it over the top of the pencil So I took the doubled bands first over the top of the pencil, and then the colours, and from the other side over the top of the pencil. And they should hold that nicely onto the pencil that way. Now you could do it from the opposite end, just even this all up. You could do that from the opposite end, but I'm not sure that stretching this all the way over this length would be such a sensible idea. So that's what it looks like as a pencil grip. Okay, I've just done a quick mock-up of the layout that you'd be looking at. You'd have, of course, a longer length out this way, but this is the band layout you'd be looking at to finish it off as a bracelet. And I've found a way of finishing it off reasonably neatly, so I'll show you how to do that. Of course, you can end it any way you'd like, but this is the way I found. What I would do is, on your last layer, take a double capped band of the colour you're using on this side and lay it across these two pins, and a colour band that you're using on this side, your outside colour, and lay it across these two pins, and then grab the underneath layer and hook it over. Okay. Push it down, take the bottom of these and move it up to the same colour at the top. Just hold it down because you've got a double cap band, so it's fairly taut. And the bottom of those, move it up to the same colour. Then I would lay a double capped band of your middle colour. And take all of these, whether you do it one at a time, 1, 2, or whether you can just pick up all 4 and take them over, it doesn't really matter, and hook them over. And then grab this one, keeping your thumb on here, move that one over there, and that's where you're going to put your C-clip to connect it as a band, and you end up with the colours sort of finishing up, running into each other, a little bit like this end of this one, so it keeps it fairly neat. At the opposite end, if I just show you this one, at the opposite end you've got these internal bands. Because doing it this way, it runs, the C-clip sort of runs sideways, because you've got a whole choice of bands to take here. I would grab an internal band on that side piece where they're running together, looks like a braid, and this side, and just simply grab those together with your hook and C-clip it onto the end. But you've got a whole range of, depending on the way you finished off the bracelet. If you use my way, then I think this is the neatest way of finishing it, because you've got the bands running the same way, and it sits quite nicely. You can wear it either way, which is cute. I love a bracelet that's reversible, but you'll also see that colour because of the way it sits up a little bit. You'll see that colour on the inside whichever way you wear it. So you get to see all the colours that you've used whichever way you wear it, but you can make one more prominent than the other. Okay then, well, I hope this has really helped, and I'd love to see your creations using this design. I should say, if anybody's come up with this before me, I didn't know about it, and please let me know. I'll be sure to give you credit. But as far as I know, this one is an original. So I will see you later, and I look forward to seeing your Instagram pictures. Catch you later.